Everyone is ready?
As soon as
Yeah,
you're
if
ready.
you are ready, please play with your virtual emoji and give me a thumbs up, participants. All right. Good morning, and of course, good evening to Steve Andrews, or good morning to the chairman of Asia Pacific Spa and Wellness Coalition, Master Trainer, Coalition, our Mr. Andrew Jacker, Master Trainer Steve Andrew, our board members who are here with us this morning, our participants from Indonesia, Nepal, and Malaysia. Welcome to the 5 days masterclass by Steve Andrew, The Power of Therapy. Master Trainer Steve Andrew, a practitioner for 25 years now, and still is a practitioner today. He said to me that I'm not going to teach me, but discovering you. And that is what therapy is. Without further ado, I will have him take over the floor, please. Master Trainer Steve Andrew, all yours. Over to you.
Welcome. Welcome to the masterclass, Steve Andrews masterclass in massage therapy. Let me say that it's 10 o'clock Barbados time, which is 10 p.m. And usually this is my bedtime. So if you are not engaging, I might just fall asleep. So I'm hoping that we're going to have a very engaging class tonight, this morning. So I'm looking for a very engaging, excited class tonight. So therapy. This class is not about, as I said, not really teaching me. I mean, I can teach me and I can teach you what I do. But the class is really about how do we unplug from the normal routine of massage and start thinking about therapy. I have spent a long time in this industry, and I remember when I first started, I find myself lost. I call it lost. Looking to find, I don't know what I was looking for, but I felt just learning how to do a Swedish massage or deep tissue massage was not enough. And I felt that there was something else and I was searching for it. And I've traveled far, far and wide trying to find that concept. And I mean, sometimes I did not realize when I found it, but I realized that my concept was changing. And because of that, then I decided that, yes, this is what I want to do. I was teaching most of my life and don't know I'm teaching. Everyone that I was running the business for the last, what, 20 years, student touch. And everyone that come for a job, I usually lie and get a massage from them. And then I will take them to the journey of what it should be like. And so I find myself having a great impact on persons. I have done a lot in terms of developing the spa and wellness sector in the Caribbean. And just when COVID started, someone said to me, "Oh, you need to go online and find something that just not sitting down and not doing anything. You need to go online and find something to really get you going." And I went online and I was very disappointed. I was sad actually to see an industry that was so good to me and to see what people are doing with it. I mean, we're making sport at massage therapy. And to me, it's such a powerful tool for us to want to make a sport at it. And and then I was driven out and said, "Oh, you have to go and give back a little of what you know to the rest of the world." And this is why I'm here. My vision is that there's a lot of persons in this world that does massage, but we have few therapists. What I'm going to try to teach you tonight, well, what I'm going to try to is really my concept and my idea of what therapy should be. So what we're going to try to do is really to help you to unplug from your routine and really get into therapy. We're going to speak so much about what is therapy, what are the components of therapy, why therapy is important than just routine, from just up and down someone's body. We spend an hour just working on people's body and they leave and they forget. In an hour, they forget what you were doing. My idea is that if you have grasped a little bit of what I'm trying to do tonight, is that when you touch someone, that they will remember you forever. And that's my vision, is to change that concept of what therapy should be. So tonight we'll look at the elements of therapy. Is what are the elements of therapy? What are some of the things that will enhance your therapy? If you don't have these components, then there are no therapy. Therapy is empty, or what you're doing is really massage. Then tomorrow night we'll look at the relationship with the body, with massage and the anatomy. I'm not teaching you anatomy. I'm teaching you the relationship. A lot of us do massages or therapy, and we don't understand the relationship between the anatomy and massage therapy. Then the following day, we're going to work on body mechanics, critical. But we can link day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. When we put all together, then you have an idea what I'm trying to do. So the whole idea is that, so day 3 will be body mechanics, day 4 will be the tool in your toolbox, and then day 5 will be putting it all together. So every day will have something, so you cannot afford to miss any of these classes, because you can miss a part of what I'm trying to do here. I'm hoping that you will, I hope you're understanding what I'm saying. I know we have a language barrier, and if you don't understand, please let at least know that we can have some translation that to make sure that no one lose what I'm trying to do tonight. So the first thing we will look at is what I would call, in fact, I asked the question, what is a massage, or what do we do? Are we massage? Are we do massage? Are we a therapist? I like to ask those questions because I like to understand what we do. Is that we do massage, or if you want to put it, what's the difference between a massage, someone that does massage, and someone that do therapy? Can I ask that question?
I think I'm Hendra from Indonesia. For the massage, according to me, I think you're only working on the physical body. And if you're doing the therapy, it means you're working the whole holistic, from the physical, like body, mind, and soul, the whole concept.
Anyone else?
Hello, this is Rajesh from Nepal. And what I believe is massage is just a healing process, whereas the therapy is the connection and healing process of our emotional and spiritual body.
Okay. So basically, what we are saying is that therapy is much more than techniques. Massage is techniques. I mean, therapy is much more than techniques. So basically, what we are trying to move from is doing techniques and move into therapy. Therapy is dynamic. When someone presents themselves before you, the idea is whatever problem they come with, you're trying to help in some form or fashion. And to be able to help them, you have to understand what it's all about. Is that someone come and they say, I need a deep tissue massage, I have a back hurting, and you go and you work the back without understanding what are the elements, how will you? And this is why I want to go into what we want to get into tonight. Touch. What is touch? What is touch? Anyone? Touch. This is something that we do every day. We touch people. When someone comes to us, what we do, we touch. I see touch touch is healing. Touch is the most powerful thing that you can ever think about. How much of us pay attention to our touch when we start massaging? How much of us really focus on our touch before we start working? Touch is the most important element of massage therapy. There are different touch. They can be normal touch. Someone can go and beat up on you and that's it. But also there are what we call therapy touch. Do you understand what therapy touch is? When you place your hand on a person to start massaging them, what are you doing? You just get in on the body and start working. What are you really doing when you place your hand on someone and start working on them? What are the things that come out in our head? Come on, talk to me.
Hello. When I toss the body, the first things comes into my mind is whether I will be able to heal them or not.
And well, are you muted? I think.
Am I audible?
Yes, you can hear you now.
Okay. The first things that comes onto my mind when talking about the thoughts is the healing, whether I will be able to heal or not.
Well, healing is a long journey, and the elements of healing after tonight, I'm hoping we will get that part right. When you touch someone, it's like you walking up to someone on the street and you're introducing yourself. Hi, how are you? If your first touch is not impactful, if your first touch is not comforting, if your first touch is not healing, if your first touch is not what we might call it, inviting, then you have to spend half of your massage to find to relax this person. Touch is a lot more than just placing a hand on someone. When you touch someone, is a gentle, soothing feeling. When you touch someone is when you are saying, how are you doing? Not only that, you're trying to figure out what is happening with this person. When you develop the element of touch, and touch not gonna come, it's not something that I'm gonna say it to you tonight, and then tomorrow you understand it. You have to develop the element of touch. I walk around and I touch trees. And when I touch trees, what I'm looking for, I'm trying to see could I feel anything out of that tree? I touch stones. Can I feel anything out of those stones? Do I? My concern is that when I touch, I'm developing my techniques or my sensitivity to touch. So you have to practice this concept. This concept, like when you engage someone, you are touching and you want to practice. Touch will tell you whether a person have a crystal, whether a person have a spasm, or whether the entire aspect of the muscles is tight. Touch will tell you, are this muscle inflamed or it's just a spasm. Touch will tell you if this person is relaxed enough that you can continue, or this person is very relaxed so you can work on this person. Touch will allow you to understand what is happening with you, with the client, okay? So touch is something that you really, really have to develop. So when you engage someone, you are not just putting hands on body and then getting your oil and you start working. You have to develop the technique of touch. When you can find areas that you can develop that technique of touch, when we get together someday, somehow, we will really dive in where we can actually, when I can actually feel it, feel that touch that coming, that warmth, that comfort, and that relaxation. Every aspect of your hands supposed to be relaxed. So when you place your hand on the body, it's really you and that person are becoming one. So your aspect when you want to get into touch, or when you're speaking about touch, you want to become in one with that person. So when I started therapy, first thing I try to do is empty myself, whatever I'm going through. Breath, breathe in, touch. I'm making sense or I'm not making sense? Talk to me.
Yes, you're making sense.
Yeah, you're making sense.
So your first touch is important, just as important as your last touch. Most of us, the bottle that we carry our oil or lotion is more important than our touch. I want us to understand the importance of touch. When we go on in this class, we will see how touch will link to the entire aspect of therapy. Another thing that we miss, your touch can be perfect, but if your breathing is not there, what happens? I see a lot of us, when I go and get massage, people say, can you take a deep breath? And I willfully, sometimes I don't take a breath. I just stay there and see what the person gonna do. And they will squeeze me, they will punch me up, they will do all of these things. Okay, now, why do you ask your client to take a deep breath?
To relax, then it's like when they take a deep breath, they will relax physically, mentally, so that they can enjoy the process of the therapy.
Do you know that most people don't know how to breathe? All of us breathe, most of us breathe from here. And if you are asking someone to take a deep breath and they're breathing from their nose, what will happen? It's not gonna have relaxation. It's not gonna be relaxing. Breathing is it's just as important as touch. So what about if I tell you, instead of asking a person to take a deep breath, why if I said, can you take that breath for them? Can you do that? Or do you want me to explain? What if I said to you, do not ask that person to take a deep breath. Can you do it for them? It's possible?
Sorry, I don't get you.
If you're saying, I'm saying, you ask a person to take a deep breath. I'm saying you don't have to ask a person to take a breath. You can take that breath for them. I'm asking you if you think it's possible.
Yes, it is.
Okay. There's one person that thinks it's possible. Anyone else?
I think, yes, it can be. It's possible.
That's why your touch is so important.
Yeah.
Breath, touch. Your touch must be, this is like igniting that connection. The connection between you and your client. So when you touch that person, you try to pick up their breathing. So now you are breathing with them. You are making them comfortable. When they are comfortable enough, you learn is a technique that you can learn where you feel for their breath. And you actually feeling through your hands. So your hand becomes your ears and your eyes. So that's why touch is so important. So now you're feeling for that breath, right? And you're feeling for it. And if you practice it, you will realize, so I'm actually feeling her breathing through my hands. What I'm trying to do here now is to take over. Now I will become control. So now instead I'm breathing with her, then I will force her to breathe the way that I want her to breathe. So naturally, with touch, I can slow down her breathing or increase her breathing based on where I'm at. So now I'm going to slowly slow down her breathing. And naturally, we become one. I guarantee you, if you can practice this technique, your massage is finished as soon as you start. Because what you're doing is you are developing trust, which is the most important. Number two, you're forcing this person to relax. And number three, you are fully in control. All of their muscles going to start collapse in front under your hand because they trust you enough that you take over. If you stay here long enough, this person will just fall asleep because you can slowly decrease their breathing. You can change their breathing pattern from their breathing pattern to your breathing pattern. You can control it through touch, but this is not something that happens overnight. You have to work at it. It's a practicing concept, but you have to understand the importance of touch and breathing. If you understand the importance of touch and breathing, then you can start linking these two together. And this is where therapy starts. This is where healing starts itself. This is where healing starts. When you can do these two things together, right? So you think it's possible?
Yeah.
Do anyone
Absolutely.
ever practice it or anyone ever know what I'm speaking about or tried it before? Anyone? No?
Yes, actually, yes, I have tried, but not with the clear vision.
Okay, so now go ahead. Sorry.
It's like as I am the Ayurvedic student in Ayurveda, also I learned some of the points regarding the value of touch, and I tried, but I was not so much clarified as you made me today.
Okay. So if you can link these two, and these are just two elements because they all swing together. They all work together. These are just two of the elements of touch. So when you start a massage, I always when you practice it enough, you don't have to do all of this. I'm doing it for you. Deep breath, exhale. If you are not relaxed, then you cannot get your clients to relax. Okay, when we get to body mechanics, we will go through what are the proper techniques to use to be. So when you touch this person, you're breathing with this person. Do you ever work on someone's tummy and feel their heartbeat? Some people may call it the pulse. These are techniques that you want to develop. This is how you take people away, how you take them, how they fall away to sleep. When you finish a back massage, your touch. How important is that touch? I guarantee you, when you finish a back massage, if your touch is good, just by being here and rocking this person to bed, I will rock them right to bed if your touch is good enough. All of this comes with practice, with just the element of touch and breathing. If you can practice these two things. And before you go, you don't breathe. I didn't explain to you, don't breathe from your nose. You try to breathe from your tummy. And that's something that we need to practice as therapists, self-development. And let it out. You start from here because this is where your energy base is. And if you want to transfer energy, it can't be from here. because this is just air coming through your nose. You have to be in control. So you learn to breathe from your stomach, and when you do that, then you are in full control. Look at my hands are totally relaxed. Hands relaxed, full extension, always full extension. And what you do is a slight lean forward. You're slight lean forward. No, you are not pushing. When you're applying to get breath, a lot of people push where they're using the upper body or their strength to try to push the person down. That's not what I'm trying. That's not what I want. I want when you rest your hand with a slight lean, and the lean is from here, from the hips. Just a slight lean. You're using your body, and you're basically in control. And you try it's just body weight. If you push too much in, then what you're doing, you're forcing the person into the bed, and it becomes uncomfortable. You want to become in one with some person. It's like dancing. Two of us is one. When they move, you move. Same thing with breath. When they move, you move. It just, no, you have to understand the elements of touch that you will know how much pressure that you're applying. If you go too deep, you will find the person is resisting you, and then you know that you have to release the pressure. So your touch becomes sensitive enough to know when they start tensing their muscles. They're tensing their muscles. It says the touch is too strong. So you are developing your element of touch. When you're developing that element of touch, then it all will come together. And it will take a lot of practicing. It's not going to come overnight. If you can, if as my colleague, my friend, my new friend said early on, he have an idea, but he did not have a full. Now we have a little more idea. He will practice it, and with time, a lot of this, a lot of what I'm telling you is going to be concept, because you're not going to get it. You're not going to get it until eventually one day you'll be working and it just comes. And you, when it comes, you will not feel strange. You will say, aha, this is what Mr. Andrews was saying to me, because it will come with time. So more you practice, more you're going to develop this concept. Okay? Right. So that's touch. Touch, breathing. There's another element that we take for granted. And I always say to persons, how do you do a massage? And you just go through the massage, and person get up, person walk away, and that's it. The emotional connection to massage, if you don't have emotion, we understand what emotion is, right? Yes. If you don't have emotional connection, there's no possibility of healing. Empathy, do you understand? Your emotional connection to therapy. So it's not just your touch, it's not just your breathing, but your emotional connection. Can I explain emotional connection? Or do you someone want to explain it to me? Anyone? Anyone? Emotional connection. We have lots of students. Any student? We are therapists. We're supposed to be healers. When someone comes to us, whether to restore, to renew, repair, because that's what they come to us for. Something is wrong, they want it to be repaired. They feel down and out, they want to feel renewed. They might be in a bad place, they want to be restored. How do you do that without emotional connection? Emotion. Emotion is what you bring to your therapy. How do you explain emotion? Is when you start moving therapy from here, from your head, it goes to your heart. This is emotion. So it's no longer physical technique. You start believing in what you're doing. So what my friend said early on, when someone comes to me, my first touch is trying to heal them. There's no healing without emotion. if it's not here, nothing happens. So when we have people that said, oh, I am, we see so much people on internet and they are masters of this and that. And you see it's self. You cannot give self, because therapy is not about you. It's about the person that present themselves before you. You have to be selfless. This is what therapy is all about. It's not selfish, it's selfless. So when someone comes to you, what are you trying to do? Renew, restore, rejuvenate, re. If you don't have that emotional connection, then it's not possible. So you have to go all the way back. Your touch is not good. You don't have a good breathing concept, and you don't have that emotional connection. How can we heal? How can we restore? I'm making sense? Talk to me.
Yes.
All my class is too
Yeah.
deep for you today.
Yes, you're making sense. It's very clear.
Actually, it really makes sense. It's very simple. Sometimes like when I do a therapy, when like emotional connection, and then we starting touching by heart, and we can really feel what is like happening with the client. And actually the client, I do feel treatment for them. And actually during the session, the client is crying. It's just like, I think it probably is just too emotional connection is really work, especially the one who giving a therapy is really selfless or really working by the heart.
Do you ever put your hands on? Sorry, go ahead. What's the question said? Okay. Do you ever put your hand on a body and your hand naturally just rebound? Anyone ever start doing a massage and the hand just naturally come back off the person's body?
I sometimes when it's connect too much, I would just release release the energy like by pulling up my hands out from the client body.
Is when you're connected, when you're breathing, your touch, emotional connection. Sometimes you just touch someone and somehow the body just say no. And you let's remind me to come back to emotional connection after energy, please, because I want to do energy first, then I want to come back to emotional connection. Can you do that?
Yes.
One of the things that we do, emotional connection will tell you what is happening with the person. You can feel everything in the body. If you can develop that connection, when you touch someone, you feel something. Your hand just react because the body is going through so many trauma. When you touch someone and their body is going through so much trauma, you have to remove your hand because it's too much for you, right? So it comes with your touch, it comes with your breathing techniques, and it comes with all of that, the emotional connection. Another aspect of therapy that we talked about. I remember when I first started therapy, when I went to my class, my instructor was a him. He keeps saying that we have to learn how to balance our energy. And I spent about 10 years trying to balance my energy. Do you know when you start massage and they tell you to rub your hand like this, and then you hold it like this, what do you feel?
Some kind of heat is heat. It's sensation and
energy.
the
Vibration.
I remember when I started. Sorry. Go ahead. Let me hear. I'm listening. I don't want to rush you. We are learning here. We are learning together.
Sorry, it's like while when we rub the hands and try to toss this, like what I feel is there is some kind of heat sensation, and the hand there will be difficulty in joining the two hands.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
You feel warm. You feel your hands both warm because it's the energy being brought into the both hands.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of magnetic field reactions is there. Is creation of magnetic field.
I remember when I started and they tell me to rub my hands together. And when I rub my hands, I will feel the energy. What you feel is in your head because energy just don't happen like that. It don't. You rub your hand and I can feel it, so you can feel it pulling together or pushing apart. And I used to do it and I used to say, well, I'm not feeling it. Sorry, I was saying, I'm feeling it. And I was like, I'm feeling it. Wow, I'm feeling it. Why? Because someone told you you're going to feel it. It's a good concept because you want to develop what energy is. It's like everything else. Energy is like water, air, wind. Wind is air. It's all around us. So our idea is, how do we balance something that we have no control in? Can we balance it? I know that one of the things that when I was teaching in the Africa class, they asked me, the question is, how do I protect myself from negative energy? How do I block negative energy from coming into my space? And I said to them, but how can I block negative energy? And we had a long discussion on energy and blocking negative energy. Some person said that when they went and do a massage, and when the massage was finished, they felt like the person take all of their energy. Whoever have that experience? Anyone?
I did it. Yes. It's happening to me like a couple of times that when I did a massage, I just feel exhausted and the whole energy is gone. But since then, I learned a lot how to protect our energy, usually by visualization and, it's always coming from our mind that, for example, before we start, now I'm practicing it right now is before I starting the treatment, I always visualize that I'm protecting by like, for example, I'm inside the balloon, like I'm protected by the balloon and this. Then I also tell myself like, actually what happened, I visualize that I'm inside the balloon and my energy is protecting and the client cannot take up my energy. This is what I did use before the treatment. And also by inhale and exhale as well. Actually, when we very calm, actually it's also protecting ourselves actually.
Energy, I always said to people, let's look at energy as two ways. It's a positive energy is light, negative energy is darkness. And I don't like, it's just my personal view, I don't like the concept of balancing the energy. My thing is that is positive is light, negative is darkness. Let's think about it. The only how you can develop anything, you have to engage it. I'm not saying that there's not negative energy. But why do you focus so much on negativity or negative energy when you can build your positive? From the time you start thinking negative, what you're doing, you're putting blockage in healing. Because let's say that we are trying to block negative energy from entering our space. So if you put up all of these things in our space to block that negative energy, from the time that person, someone walk in, the first thing you say, well, my negative, you're trying to feel a negativity. So why are we focused so much on the negative energy component than to build our positivity? Healing is about light. Healing is about light. It's about lightness. In any room, in the darkest room that you have, if you bring a phone light and you turn it on, what do you see? It don't brighten up that room. So why do we focus on negativity? Why do we spend so much time on developing or develop defense for negativity? It says it's really slowing down our positivity, because now we are working on something that really and truly we should not be working on. We are therapists. We are healers. We have to focus on light. I'm not saying there are not negativity, but if you build your positivity, when negativity come in a room, the light will always outrise the darkness. It's as simple as that. So I spent 10 years trying to learn how to balance my energy. I do so many different things. I went to classes, I went to all of that. And I was like, but I'm not feeling it. Until you decided that let's throw that one side and let's focus on positivity. Each and every person that comes into your space, your light should outbright whatever they bring into that space. Is that making any, it's something that you think you can look at?
I agree with you, Mr. Steve, is it? Yeah. I believe that during the massage, we need to stay focused and be more positive than to think about the negative things that can really steal our mind away, and then we become negative. Then this energy will not be balanced.
Thank you.
Yeah, balancing the energy is very important. Before we touch, we got to have a positive mind that what we are going to do. We do not never think about what the customer comes in, what negative they have, and we cannot have the very deep emotion to follow what the customer have the problem. Then definitely we cannot balance our energy. Positive energy is very important. Thank you.
So we should throw negativity through our windows then?
No need. Every day we have to have a positive mind, positive energy. We have to cultivate that before we
That's
can
what
start
healing is all about. Yes, that's what healing is all about. Anyone else?
Right. Yes, sir. Can I share?
Yes.
I'm Iswaran from Malaysia. Actually, I'm the aura healer, and I also massage therapy, whereby I do encounter very much stronger negative energy when I handle some of my customer who have some issues of health. Okay, so as I'm an aura healer, for me, it absorbs very much of the negative energy. So how I handle, there are few methods actually. Normally, because I hold my positive energy and I use my positive energy to make them comfortable, to heal them. But upon completing my hand, I can feel the negative energy, whereby I will use salt and turmeric. Okay, salt is the negative energy absorber, and also the turmeric is a positive energy. So I use the salt and turmeric, wash my hand. I have another option which helps me very much. Whenever I feel a very strong negative energy after I treating my customer, patient, what I will do, I will hold the Nepal, the rock salt, yeah, Nepal rock salt, and I will hold it, and I transfer my negative energy to that salt. And each time I do, I feel relief. So these are some of the method that I practice. But if you ask me how I will maintain and sustain my positive energy through some of my meditation, I can sustain my very strong positive energy for healing. Thank you.
Okay, remember, I just want to be clear. I know they are negativity, right? And I said 100%. Where they are positive, have to be negative. Is a universal thing, a balance. What I'm saying to us, that we spend too much time focusing on the negative energy than focusing on building our positivity. When stronger our positivity becomes, is more that we can deal with when the negative, because we will know when it comes. Remember I said, remind me about emotion. The concept, when you say that, oh, I felt overwhelmed from someone coming, it's not so much negative energy, it's the emotion. We put so much emotion because we empathize with when that person come to us and what they are going through, whether they're muscles, whatever. So we dive into them. We give so much of ourselves. We are the one that is giving, right? Than someone is taking. No one cannot take anything from you unless you give to them. We are the one that give. So when I speak about emotional connection, so now you're not balancing your energy, you now have to balance your emotions. It's a managing of your emotion. It's not so much your energy, because energy is beyond you. It's really about your emotion. It's like you are giving, so you have to know how much you can give to a client when they come to you. So it's really not they're taking it from you. No one can take anything from you. You have to give it to them. Understand what I'm saying? So when you work on someone, you feel what is happening with that person and you get excited. Your emotion takes the better of you. And you want to give them everything because, as a healer, I want to heal this person. The question you ask yourself, can I give them everything today? Then say, let me give you 50% today and then come back 2 weeks after and give you the other 50%. What about that? What about that kind of thinking? So it's not really the energy, because no one cannot come into you and take your energy. It's really about your emotion. You give it. They cannot take it, as everybody will stick you up and take your energy because everybody wants it, right? You have to give it. So I'm saying it's not so much energy, balancing our energy. We have to harness energies, harness which energy we want, positive or negative. So we surround based on what you surround yourself with, whether it's meditation, whether it's all of those things you do that will build or harness that energy, that mix is all in the mind. You start thinking good things. You cannot say that I am an energy healer, but yet you're watching people killing people. That's not balance. That's not harnessing energy. You're harnessing negativity. So it's really about shaping your mind. And when you start shaping your mind, then it goes to your heart. And whatever that is, it starts here and then it goes here. So just remember, I'm not saying there's not negative. It's just how do you harness it, right? Making sense? So as therapists, let's focus on positivity. So
Sorry,
everyone
Steve,
come to, go ahead.
Sorry, Steve, can I just interject there just quickly?
Yes.
Listening to what Isvaran said, to me, he's speaking the truth from very much from the way the therapists are traditionally taught, because it is all about technique, 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 technique. The reality now is that COVID world and our industry is changing. So the opportunity to reassess what we do and just look at the basic practices that we put forward for however many years and say, hey, you know, copy paste maybe doesn't work anymore. We need to reassess it a little bit and really reconnect. So from me, Isvaran, I mean, thank you for your honesty. I think you were saying what a lot of people would say, whether they were prepared to say it or not. Whereas what Steve is saying now is you really need to connect, and it is much more, and it's very much focusing on the positivity. So, all right. Sorry if I digressed a little bit too much there, Steve.
That's fine. And I don't want to say tradition in therapy is very important. I'm not saying throwing your tradition outside. No, tradition in therapy is very, very important. I believe that's where I think too much of it is being thrown outside and we moving forward. But how do we integrate both of them? Is that integrating what we are doing to make sure that we are really catering to the client's need really than what we believe or what we're thinking about. And all I'm trying to say in energy, let's focus on the positive. I get this. What the word? I'm trying to look for a nice word. I'm not happy when I walk into someone's spa and I'm frightened by all the things that they have in the spa. And I'm saying, wait, what are you trying to do to me now? So I get kind of, some say that yes for tradition and experience, because everybody have experiences and everybody have what we call journeys. So if you were saying that when I come into your spa, you'll take me to a journey, that's fine. That's a part of your marketing. But I'm speaking to therapists here, not the person on the street. I'm speaking with therapists that we can start unplugging and start looking at how we can be better at what we do. And this is what I'm trying to say right now, because I don't want to throw away my tradition. My father was a bush doctor, and I'm so sorry I didn't learn much more from him, because I would like to learn a lot of the medicines that I could have ever put together. COVID is this time I will be okay. So I'm not saying to throw away your tradition. Is a powerful thing, and I think tradition should stay. But I'm speaking at the level of therapy. How do we integrate the two? How do we integrate the two? I remember when I was the chair of CISWA, I went to one of the country, Suriname is one of the islands in the Caribbean. Is Dutch speaking, but is a part of CARICOM because we are more Spanish speaking. And they take me through the interior, and I met with a traditional African. There's Maroons, which is the only traditional African practice or in the Caribbean. And we had a long discussion on therapy. And they were trying to do something for the tourists. And I was trying to say to him, well, you don't want to just bring tourists into your environment, because when you bring tourists into your environment, you destroy your environment or you destroy your tradition. I said, why not you just build a compound just outside of your village, and you can do a tourism thing that makes it feels good. And I never forget that day. And I went back the following day to the event, and I saw this lady running, coming at me. And I was like, what happened? And she said, my husband. And she said to me, he was sleeping in the night and he jumped up at 2 o'clock and said, I got it. Meaning that you don't want to destroy tradition. I'm not saying to do that. I'm saying how do you integrate it. So but no, we are therapists. We want to go to the next level. And yes, you can integrate your therapy or your tradition, but how do you build it out to become better at what you do? So we don't want to focus on so I have my salt and I have all of that because the negative energy can come, so I have to. So it's how do you work with it? And that's what I'm trying to do right now, is just to unplug with tradition and start looking at ways of how we can move forward, right? So as I said, with energy, if you work on your positivity, then you don't have to focus so much on the negativity. Because when negative comes, you will see it. It's like a dark cloud will come over. And you will say, what that dark cloud doing around me? And you will, and then you take a deep breath. Let's deal with it. That's all I'm saying. You will see it when it comes. You will feel it because you can say, this is not what I'm accustomed to. And my staff always said to me, Mr. Andrews, how come the worst customers always stick with you? And I always say to them, if you can make them happy, they will never go anywhere else. So don't care how bad they are, I want to please. Don't care what they don't like, I try to please. And you will keep that clients forever because everybody can run them, you keep them. They're not going to go anywhere else. Same thing, negative energy come, you work positivity in them. That's how it is. Another aspect that we miss in therapy, vibration. I see all night. You see all night I'm rocking, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand the powers of vibration? We speak about energy. There's no energy without vibration. Vibration is a vehicle to energy. Like you know that you drop a stone or a little pebble in water, it vibrates out. I speak. The sound is the energy, the vibration carries the energy, right? Same thing. We do a lot of techniques. And how much of us pay attention to the vibration? We can do so much with vibration in therapy. Vibration is one of the most powerful aspects. With rocking, which is a vibration, you can touch and you can feel the vibration through the person, meaning you might say the energy, but the vibration going through. You can develop, you can find so many different things through vibration. So when you start your massage, she is tense, she's not moving. What you do? You want to unblock a sudden rocking vibration. What that does, it helps to force that person to relax. So you're breathing, you're touching, but yet you are slight rocking. If you ever see me work, everything, see the body always moving, is vibration. So you're working on the shoulder, but also you're working on the hips because that slight rocking and the muscles is relaxed. If it's out of place, it goes back into place. It's not just a physical thing, it's also a part of energy, transfer of energy. So when you touch someone, you want to feel it's still the vibration is digital. Vibration is not just physical, but it's also a part of the transfer of energy itself. Earthquakes come, what we do we feel? The vibration itself. And that's the energy from that earthquake, right? A car, if you bus pass outside a truck, you can feel that vibration and then you hear that bus because of that energy force. It comes with vibration. If you want to unblock blockages in the system, it just, I know the Reiki masters just use their hand, but the hand actually vibrates as well when they have it over you, because that's another way of transferring energy. So what I'm trying to say to you is if we can develop the elements of therapy, our touch, our breathing, our emotional connection with the vibration or with the energy, then you know starting how you know starting on your journey to therapy, right? So if you can develop those components, then therapy could be possible. My view is that I don't think therapy is possible without all of these together. You might be able to soothe a sore muscle, or you might be able to make someone feel good enough. But if you're trying to heal, and maybe unconsciously you might not recognize it. But if you now start thinking about it consciously, you can start developing these components. And when you develop these components, then you can start seeing the difference of what I'm trying to say. I think my guest is falling asleep. I thought it's my bedtime gone. What happened? So it's your bedtime, not my bedtime. So this, to me, these are very important elements of therapy. And I really want us to work on it. It may be more. I don't know. You can tell me if you think there are more that we can add. Possible. But if you can put these 5 concepts together, I think your therapy will improve by 100% if you can really develop these concepts that I'm trying to say to you tonight. All right? Any questions? Questions?
Everybody's shy.
I don't think they're shy at all. I think they may be like me, getting sleepy. So, do we agree with what I'm saying, or I don't want to continue and you're not agreeing with what I'm saying?
Agree very much.
Yeah, agreed.
Great.
What you have said.
100%.
So we
Steve,
agree.
Melissa here. There is something in the chat room that says that APSWC is creating a bond with the person during the therapy. That while you were sharing, I think she typed something on the chat. Yes, when you're speaking about touch. Do you see the screen? Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, is creating a bond between you and the person that you're massaging, because as I said in the beginning, is you're starting a relationship. I always say to people, when someone comes to us, they're not just physically stripping themselves, they are mentally stripping themselves. Yes. I mean, a total stranger just walk off the street and they're taking off their clothes in front of you and they're exposing themselves to you. You have to make them comfortable. And part of the comfort is your touch. Your touch have to be secure and comforting. If that touch is not secure and comforting, but more than that, you are trying to build that relationship without saying a lot. So that's why I keep saying that. And I always say that to my therapist. When someone walks through the door, you have less than 2 minutes to assess who the person is. So you need to be figuring out that person. So when you start working on them, you might have an idea who they are. Like, how are you today? And if they, based on their reaction, another question, because you're trying to understand that person, because part of it is building a relationship. Our job is so serious that people meet you for a first 1 hour, and in 1 hour they tell you their deepest secret, and that's frightening. So, if they're not comfortable enough, then they don't share those things with you, and they tense up, and your massage becomes hard, and they leave and they never come back. What I'm trying to do is teach you not just to make a lot of money. I'm trying to teach you how to have a job for the rest of your life. I'm living on an island, 275,000 people, and that's what I depend on. I have to build my business based on my little group. What I'm doing here is just another passion for me. So teaching now become a passion, because I think that we need more therapists in this world, right?
Yes.
So my idea, if you can develop your therapy skills, you're not just getting a job. So you don't bother about, oh man, I'm working hard, I'm doing 20 massages a day. With therapists, you do less massage, because when you're giving emotion, when you're giving all of those things, now you're connected. So as spa owners, spa managers, we have to know who are our therapists, right? So we know how to manage them.
Steve, can I ask a question?
Not a problem.
Yes, I run spas for a long period of time. Then at the beginning of my time as a spa manager, I learned about how emotion of spa therapies can actually affect the customer. So I didn't know back then because we were not equipped by knowing that the transfer energy could actually relate to the feeling of the customer being observed by the therapist and vice versa. So I would like to know when the therapists are having a meltdown or unhappy situation where this person is actually not able to bring the positive energy to them to themselves, would you recommend that this person actually continue on with the treatment?
Not if you have a meltdown. No. I think that if you're doing therapy or you're doing a massage and something happens that you're out of control, I think that we should replace that therapist. The question is why the person is having a meltdown. So we also have to protect. I mean, part of the classes is focusing on self therapy. Body mechanics is not just the physical stance and everything. It's about the mental capacity of therapists. So we really have to focus on the mental capacity of therapists. I think that's why I was saying early on, we need to know who is our therapist or who are our therapists and who do massages. You can make a lot, you will make a lot more money from therapists than someone just doing a rub down because you get more repeats. I mean,
Yes.
some of us is in tourism. Well, we might not see. I got people come to Barbados every year looking for me because I have this guy that came one day and he decided he didn't want to pay for his massage. So he decided he wanted deep tissue, and he went all around the table telling me about deep tissue and what his mindset were. And I make sure he hurt in the beginning, but then I come back down and really give him a good massage. He didn't have one massage; he had 6 massages from me. So it's saying that you have to know where that person is, and you have to understand what that is that they're not just having one massage, no, they're having 6 massage. Your therapist that they will be able to not just bringing them bringing something that will ask me always what up. So it's not everyone will develop that have to want to. Tomorrow when we come, you can tell me what you find because I want to know what you find. Do you feel anything different? Do you? Because now it's just in your head. You know something. I think about it. I think Mr. Andrew was speaking bare foolishness. That might be possible. That's no problem because we are all in this thing to learn together. And as I said, this is just my view from my 25 years of practicing. I went through journeys of doing. I do all the modalities that everything come I want to learn, but then I get to a point and say, why do we? When someone come, most person that come to you don't know what they want. Most person, they will tell you I want deep tissue massage. And it says, and then you start working on them and they start moving, and then you're like, nope. So as a therapist, you decide what the body needs and not what the person needs. Unless they insist that I just want to be pampered or because you can do it because you are connected. You understand the touch. You understand what is happening with their bodies. And then you have to knowledge is key. I always say information is free. When you go on the internet, that's why I see all these crazy things on the internet. But if you want knowledge, you have to search for it. You have to dig deep and search for knowledge. Information is out there, it's free. But knowledge, it might cost you a little bit, but you have to go looking for it. We have to equip ourselves. It's not there will be people coming to us with all kind of stuff. I have a client the other day, and I can't remember what the conversation was about, and she was giving me this story, and then I had to debunk her and say, "But this is not making sense." And we went through. Well, I didn't say it's not making sense. In my mind, I was saying that, but by the explanation of what was happening, then she come out to the fact that it's not well, I didn't say that. She said it's not making sense at the end of the day. So we have to arm ourselves. So I want us to really practice, because unfortunately I'm here and you're there. Sorry, I mean, I'm not that I'm trying to get to your country or anything, but I'm saying that this class is really an in-person class, because now this is where we're going to practice our touch. This is where we're going to practice our breathing techniques. This is where we're going to practice how do we practice this now. So because we are here, you're going to have to do it on your own. You're going to go and you're going to practice your touch. You're going to feel, you're going to want to breathe, feel the person, becoming one. And at first, you're not going to pick it up, but with time, you can start picking up. If you're not doing it already, now it will take time. So I want you to go and practice with anyone, your partner, someone, your friend, somebody, but just practice it. Try to breathe with the person. And the idea is more, you see, she now move, and I think I should just stop. I just keep my pressure because I don't want to disturb her. So you're going to practice it together. I'll practice it with someone where you can feel the breathing, and every time the hands comes up, when you at the point where you want to take over, when they breathe out, you just breathe out with them, but you want to keep their pressure. So basically you're forcing them to release themselves to you. And I wish I could have shown you what I'm trying to do here. Okay? But it's really about trying to get the person, trying to breathe for that person. And with time, you will start picking it up. And when they fall asleep, you will feel the air change going around what we call this muscle, that. You will feel the air will change. You will feel like everything, because the muscles is so relaxed. You can feel like the air is going through the back of the neck, and you're gonna change, and then you're gonna hear the snore coming out most of the time if you get it right. So if you have your hands like this, you pick it up a lot more. And you like, this is how I usually end my massage, with a rocking technique. Breathing, as I said, the beginning, also the end. Same thing. Rocking, you start, you slow it down. I think she's sleeping though. I don't think it's from the touch here. I think she was spending enough time here that she's sleeping. But yes, so all I'm saying that when you practice, you remember I said your first touch should be just as great as your last touch. I don't like when someone, they finish with a personal massage and say, massage again. Massage is finished. I really don't like that. I think that you should actually let that person just go off, and you can step off for 2 minutes and then come back in. And I usually come and squeeze the feet, because when you jump them is an anxiety, because if they're sleeping, when you jump, anxiety. So blood pressure goes up. So you just come and give a firm squeeze and say, massage is finished. little rock into massage is finished sometime. We will discuss that part in the relationship between massage and the anatomy about sleeping. Why you know that you ever when you work with someone and you hear them snoring or they hear themselves snoring. I had a lady that came in here and she said, I had to go home and apologize to my husband. For 30 years, he tell me I snore, and I keep fighting with him, telling I don't snore. And then she said, I lie there and hear myself snoring, which is not possible. It shouldn't be possible. But when you understand the relationship between the anatomy and massage therapy, you know why you can actually hear yourself snoring because that's the third level of sleeping. So all of those we'll discuss tomorrow in terms of sleeping. So all of those things is what when we understand these things, then when someone comes to us, then we can have a better conversation. So this is will help us to have better conversation with our clients. So when people come and tell you, I cannot have a massage because of high blood pressure, why? You'll be able to say, well, this is the reason why that you could, stuff like that. So that's when I speak about the relationship between massage and the anatomy. This is what we're going to talk about. Why that you need to understand how the system works. And when you understand how the system works, then you can have real conversation with your clients. So you can debunk some of the things that people will come and say, well, I can't do this. Why you can have a massage. A massage is like 8 hours, 1 hour massage is like 8 hours of sleeping. Is that possible? Do we know that, right? Tell me yes. That
Yes.
1 hour massage is like 8 hours of approximately 8 hours of sleeping. If you
Yes.
understand how, if you understand
Yes.
what you
You have a very deep sleep.
Yes.
so those are the things that we will discuss tomorrow. And we will try to walk through them and then we will come back to touch because touch is we will go back because I want you to do some homework on your touch and you will tell me what you discover. So the first half an hour we will speak about touch and you will tell me what you discover and then we can come back, we can go back into dive into the anatomy and the relationship. On your handout you have muscle, but I have expanded to anatomy because I think muscles, we should know muscles, but I want us to understand the difference, the impact on massage with all the other systems. And if we know that, then our clients, we can share that with our clients. So then they will come to us once a month and know it's not just pampering. It's really, it's like paying a long-term health policy. This one is to prevent you from getting sick, not just you get, not one when you get sick you can, and sometimes when you get sick you just can't use it because, so it's really prevention. So we can talk about that. We can talk about the relationship. All right. So how was my hour and few minutes today? You think you
Very
want
good
me?
sharing, sir. Very good
Very,
sharing.
very, yes.
And, yeah. And it has given actually the in depth of the depth of the touch is because most of the time when we practice, we take things for granted. Now we really emphasize and we can go specific and we can use all the sensational the touch as a remedy. Very well. Thank you, sir. Great job.
Roger. Just one person?
It's very interesting. It brings me back to my time when I was taking care of 24 spa therapists with all sort of emotion that come back with a different stories. So it remind me again about how important for you to make sure that your therapists understand about touch, understand about connection. So yes, it is like more on waking up again for the call up that I have not been paying attention for the longest time. So it's very well done. Thank you.
Roger.
I mean, the reality is that sometimes in life we need to reground. And I think this is a perfect opportunity for all of us to look at it and say, yes, we need to regrind, well, not regrind, right? Become more grounded and really focus on the positivity. I mean, it's very easy to focus. It's really interesting with Steve talking about the positive and the negative. I mean, around us at the moment, we're just about saturated with negativity. So it's so appropriate with Steve's words about let's really focus on the positive. Let's really make a difference of what we can do, what as an individual therapist, you can raise the bar and, you know, move everything forward in a very positive light. So I really hope everybody will take the opportunity to practice and do the homework that Steve has assigned. You know, on behalf of the APSWC, obviously we're absolutely delighted that he is here, especially thanks to Elisa for coordinating this and helping pull it all together. This is a unique opportunity for the therapists and trainers and the broader spa and wellness industry in Asia Pacific, that we have the ground roots here that we can really take and come out of this on a very positive thing. So thank you very much, Steve. I mean, fantastic content. I'm not a therapist, but hey, I actually learned a hell of a lot myself. So for those who are the therapists, for those who are the trainers, I'm sure the level of knowledge that you guys gained was 200% beyond what I got out of it. So thank you for participating. And like I said, please do the homework because Steve's obviously going to test you all tomorrow. So be prepared.
So definitely will be prepared.
Lisa?
Thank you, Steve, for this valuable session.
Elisa is here, or is, oh yeah, Elisa is here still. Okay.
I'm here. Thank you. Thank you to our chairman, Andrew. Is there anything else that the participants want to ask Steve?
Remember, sorry, when you finish.
Okay, if there's nothing at all, can I remind everybody to check in? My apologies, I should have let everyone know that you're supposed to check in every day and check out every day, because we have more than 20 people over in the room, and it makes our attendance much easier for us to monitor. And also for those who join us today, thank you so much. And if I could remind all of you, when you join the class, please rename yourself to the registration name that we have. All right. And I'm sure all of you have learned a lot from Steve. I learned as well. I love what Steve said about positive and negative. And in our life, there's always yin and yang, that, there's light and there's darkness, right? And that's how we balance. But when the light goes into a dark room, we can only see that it's lit up, right? So I learned a lot from Steve as well. I hope all of you do learn as much as I do. All right. Steve, is there anything else from your side, or we can call it off today?
It went through my head.
Because it's sleeping time for you. You know what, everyone? Barbados is 12 hours ahead of us, and it's actually nighttime over in Barbados that, Steve is trying to cater to this part of the world with her knowledge.
Sorry, I now remember what I want to say. Remember Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're going to be working. So hopefully that you can have someone to work on. So because tools in your toolbox, I mean, I can't teach you your tools in your toolbox. I have to see your tools in your toolbox to really be able to really make adjustment. And sometimes you might be perfect, you might be right, but sometimes it's just some little adjustment. But now when you're focusing on techniques, now you'll be thinking about today, and then you think about tomorrow, and then so make sure that if you can have someone to work on, that I could, because I will be calling out, because I want to see what you're doing. Then we can discuss it and see, will this make sense? Can we do it different way? Can we do it different way? So that's what the last 3 days we'll be looking at, body mechanics, because most therapists last, I always look at my hands, see my hands, and 25 years, see? Because lots of us do not understand the body mechanics, and we put our hands and our body under lots of pressure. So we don't last 10 years sometimes, and we are out. And I can teach you lots of little things that will help to sustain your longevity in this industry. So that's something I will really want to work on, looking at body mechanics.
Hey, can we call it a day now, Steve?
Yes,
Can we
yes.
call it a night for you?
I can go on sleep now.
Risha,
Yeah.
just
I
to
can
remind you
go on
about our
sleep.
photo sessions.
Yes. Can everybody